Bandit, Ryan Mullins, and Jeremiah Elliott.
Hey everybody, you're listening to episode 21 of the Good Stuff Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. Each and every episode of the Good Stuff Podcast is brought to you by BBP, and you can find more out about us at blindbanditproductions.com. I am one of your hosts. Couldn't talk there for a second. CK Helms.
And I'm Zach, I guess.
And I'm Ryan. You guessed.
He's not really for sure, and Ryan sounds like he's dying. Ryan's like, I'm Ryan.
Sorry.
Sounded like a fucking alien.
I can't talk. Zach's not sure of himself, and Ryan is dying.
Yeah.
There is only if you listen to the front of the broadcast here, whatever this podcast is, broadcast, whatever you want to call it, you'll see that now we have a semi-permanent fourth chair person. Jeremiah Elliott, he's been on here a couple times. He was on episode 19 and then episode 2, I believe it was. He will be joining us on a regular basis now as our fourth chair. Yay, everybody's excited. Clap your hands.
All right.
Yeah, but he can only appear every 2 out of 3 weeks, mainly because he has to save the world on the third week or whatever. I don't know.
I'll save people from getting shot in the butt.
Yeah. Yep, that's correct. That's what his job is. He is a butt shot saver. So, and that you can put that on like a business card or something. But yeah, next week will be Jeremiah's official first episode as a legit co-host. So we're excited to have Jeremiah on the show. But let's get right into it, guys. Of course, we're on lots of social media pages like Facebook, facebook.com/The Good Stuff Podcast. We're on Instagram, Good Stuff Podcast, and then we're on the Twitter.
The Twitter, Good Stuff for Real, and BBP for Real.
And that's the number 4.
Yes.
That's correct.
For both of those.
Yep. And Blind Bandit Productions also has a Facebook page too. So I'm not for sure exactly. I'm sure it's facebook.com/Blind Bandit Productions, right? Or did we set that up?
I'm pretty sure it's just Blind Bandit Productions.
Yeah. So, yeah, follow us on all of those social medias. And if you want to listen to the show, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and YouTube. And then any podcast app that combines all those together, you can find us on, as Jeremiah told us a couple episodes ago. So, yeah, go listen to the shows. Leave us a review on the iTunes page or the Facebook page. We got a review on iTunes, Ryan. I don't know if you saw that, but someone gave us a review. We got a 5-star review.
What they say?
Yeah. So I mean, we're 5 stars, man.
It wasn't
what they say. What they say in the review?
They didn't say anything.
Oh.
Or that I can't find it. I don't know. I'm looking on my phone, so I mean, I don't know. I have to go look at it somewhere.
Probably
else.
Your mom or something.
Yeah, probably. Did you see where I had said something about needing a fourth chair person for this week? And my mom was like, well, if I wasn't into the lake, I would help y'all record. And I was just like...
You're like, no. And then she's like, huh? I'm like,
no.
What? Like, why'd she say, huh? Like, she really thinks that we would want her on... Like, I mean, I'm sure your mom's cool and all. Like, I met her a couple times, but it's just...
You don't know nothing about none of
like,
this nerds.
What is she supposed to say about this nerd shit? Like, what is she gonna say? Oh man, I'm so super excited about that new Watchmen series coming out. Ooh, it's just like the graphic novel, but cool and shit. Like, you think that's my mom? Like,
yeah.
The only movies that his mom knows about is that new Kirk Cameron movie.
Maybe
right.
if we're a podcast about knitting or something. I don't know.
If we're do what's the Notebook? What kind of book is that written?
Dawson.
Did you hear that they made a sequel to A Dog's Life?
Yeah, something like that. Nothing against my mom, but I mean,
Did you hear that Nick cried during My Dog Skip?
oh, got me right there, didn't you?
Nick cried during My Dog Skip?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, wow.
Because he's a little crybaby. He doesn't even like dogs.
I know.
It was a different time. It was a different time in my life.
When he was younger and didn't know better, I guess. So.
Yeah. Then I grew up and don't like dogs anymore. Moving on, though, we start the show off with notable releases. And I guess the most notable release for this week is tomorrow, May 17th, Friday, at the theaters. You can see John Wick Chapter 3. I believe it's called Parabellum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you guys, I've never seen a John Wick movie.
Me either. I'm going to watch them all now, but
They're pretty good.
I hear good things. It's just like I don't see a whole lot of movies, and so like I gotta like watch movies. And a lot of times when I watch movies, you know, they're with Lacey. So I mean, I watch a lot of nerd shit, and then like stuff that Lacey will like, and it falls in a category of I could probably watch that and like that, but I have so much other stuff that I'd watch by myself. That would be a movie that I'd have to watch by myself. And I have a list of so much stuff that I have to watch by myself. It's just hard to get to that. So, but I mean, eventually I want to watch John Wick because I've heard good things, especially about the second one.
You know, I have you have my Google account, right? Don't you still?
Yeah. I still get that.
I have John Wick 1 and 2 on there.
Oh, look at that.
So
we share all accounts, Ryan. You should be as cool as us.
yeah, we just share our movie. And
y'all are welcome to use my Steam account whenever y'all finally get PCs.
Oh yeah.
Use your what?
My Steam account.
Oh yeah. Don't you have a PC, Zach?
Not a very good one, but yeah.
No, probably not one that could run any of the games that I buy off of Steam.
It's an HP stream, so.
Oh wow.
What is that?
It's
HP
just-
stream.
It's just
Might
a
as well have
basic thing.
Might as well have a Google Chromebook.
Right.
Fuck Google Chromebook. You can't. There's like hardly any fucking shit for that.
I didn't even know there was a thing still. I kind of forgot that word.
They stopped protecting on them.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get a new Zune too. Hook up to my Google Chromebook.
Love my Microsoft Zune.
What? You both said something at the same time. Okay, not that important. But yeah, John Wick Chapter 3. I heard great things. It's gotten good early reviews. So go see that at the movie theaters. So, but while you're there, also see Endgame again because that's always good to watch Endgame again because fuck Avatar. Let's beat that thing. Come on, guys. Double feature.
We're only like a
Avatar
few
doesn't
hundred
deserve
million
that.
away. So.
So.
Avatar
And
was
also-
visually stunning, but it was a stupid movie.
Well, because it's been told, Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas, it's the same story.
Yeah.
The only reason Avatar made as much as it did was because the new 3D technology that James Cameron helped pioneer.
Not just that. Avatar was in theaters twice for a total of 10 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I didn't-
re-released it before they.
Yeah, they re-released it, and so it was in the theaters for a long time anyways, and then because there was nothing big in theaters when it first came out, and then they re-released it, but for total, it was in theaters for 10 months and made that much money. Avengers has almost made the same amount of money, and it's only been in theaters almost a month.
I wonder if it'll beat Gone with the Wind for inflation, because if you look at inflation for Gone with the Wind now, it's 3.7 billion, but that also includes, of course, re-releases and all that. But
Yeah.
They need to re-release Endgame, but this time have Deadpool flying on the back of Valkyrie's.
Make a Deadpool edition.
Or just replace Valkyrie. Just have Deadpool riding with his katana.
Just have Deadpool in different spots throughout the movie.
That's what Deadpool 3 should be. Just Avengers Endgame with Ryan Reynolds making little cameos in every scene.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or going through the entire MCU making cameos.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that Cable, the time travel device from Cable. It would just be like the after credit scenes from Deadpool 2, except it would be a whole movie.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. Another notable release this week is Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered is coming out for the Nintendo Switch on May 21st, which is next Tuesday. Assassin's Creed 3 is a big franchise. Assassin's Creed 3 is probably my least favorite in the franchise. Second least favorite.
Apparently, I own it on PlayStation right now because I
quit playing after 3.
I know that 3 turned a lot of people off.
It was just repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
The characters were uninteresting. Like, I don't know, just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because to go from Ezio to that, whatever that dude's name was from 3, that Native American guy, but
Connor.
he was just bland. He was very bland.
I really like, one of my favorite Assassin's Creed was Black Flag was one of my favorites. But,
well, you know what my issues with that are, so.
Yeah, you don't like steering boats and shit.
Yeah, I don't like naval combat stuff. I barely got through that part in Kingdom Hearts 3. I just don't like naval combat. It's just I don't like it. I just have a horrible time with it.
Well, you're gonna love the next Assassin's Creed, which is rumored to be Vikings.
Right. I'm sure that'll have naval combat too.
It'll just be the new God of War in Assassin's Creed style.
I just don't know why Assassin's Creed 3 is the one that's getting remastered for Nintendo Switch. Like, why did you not remaster 2?
They already did a remaster of the Ezio collection.
But for Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't release it on Nintendo Switch, but...
We'll just put that out for Nintendo Switch. I mean, because the 3 remaster's just for Nintendo Switch, right?
No, it came out for everything, because
it did?
I have it for free on PlayStation because I got the gold edition of Odyssey, so they gave me Assassin's Creed 3 for free.
Oh, so I can play that. So.
Yeah, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I looked and I can download it, so... But, well, apparently, I might try it again, because apparently they fixed some of the functions and, the combat's a little bit better and stuff, so I might try it out.
I don't know. If they don't fix Connor's monotone voice, it really doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just pretty boring.
George Washington.
He had the same tone of voice no matter what he said in the entire game.
I am mad at you. I am excited.
Oh, that is a sad moment. Just the entire game, it's one tone. Seriously, go back and play it.
Hello, Benjamin Franklin.
If you go, I didn't write this down, but at the same day for Nintendo Switch, they're getting 3 Resident Evil games too.
Yep.
Oh shit! I guess I gotta get a Nintendo Switch now.
Like Resident Evil 4 Type 0 or something like that. Some other game.
I had a Nintendo Switch, which I was gonna get games for it, but then I lost my job at the time, so I sold my Nintendo Switch.
You can buy me one too.
What?
He said that when you buy one, buy him one too.
Right. Don't you have a job? You make more than all of us, and all you do is sit at a karaoke booth.
I make so much money. I don't. Maybe I just spend it all and don't realize it. I don't know.
You do spend it all and don't realize it. I mean, we could write it all down after this.
I mean, it's easy to make more than Nick, though, because he hasn't been to work in like a year.
It's not
I know,
true. It's been
because
like 6 months.
he's saying something about some weird shit that's going on with him. He's probably just bullshitting everyone.
Well,
What? Oh,
Just fucking do.
still mad
moving
about
on. He's just mad because of something. So it's just taking it out on me. All right, guys. So let's move on to trailers this week. The Watchmen series finally dropped a trailer. Did anyone else see that trailer?
Yes,
Yeah.
that actually looked very intense.
And it's just I don't know what to make of it. Like I'm guessing it's going to be a sequel to the movie / graphic novel. Just from what it looks like.
It will be its own original storyline.
Yes, which would be a sequel.
Yes,
It
the
could be
sequel
original.
would be an original story.
The sequel would be an original story because there is no sequel to Watchmen.
A sequel means that it's an incorporated storyline. The only thing
Well,
that's the
It has
same
to
is
be
character name.
because they say Rorschach is mentioned by that cult of Rorschach people in Rorschach masks, and they talk about Walter Kovacs, who is Rorschach, in there. So it is definitely has to do with it's not with the Watchmen.
No, it's the same characters, different storyline. It takes place at a different time.
That's what I'm telling you. It's
That's
a
a
sequel.
sequel.
That's called a sequel, you idiot.
What the fuck?
No, it is more like a reboot.
No.
There will be things. Okay, a sequel means that it's the same characters from like the exact same characters. This is the same characters that are used for like it's
most
just
of them
because
died, so they can't bring them all back.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, Wolverine from the cartoons is not the same Wolverine that Hugh Jackman plays. While it is the same character, it's not the same character.
I understand, but wouldn't it be a sequel then, technically?
No, it's a reboot.
It's a reboot sequel.
Oh my!
It's not a reboot if it
A
still
reboot
takes
would be
place in
I
the
guess
same
the best way I
timeline.
can say this is that the Bruce Wayne in Gotham is not the same Bruce Wayne that's in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
I understand, but a
Okay, so
reboot would be
that's what I'm
telling the
saying.
same story. Like, a reboot would be telling the same story from the graphic novel that the movie already told. That would be a reboot.
Okay, so here's the point that I'm trying to make is that the movies take place during World War One. This one takes place during just after like just before segregation. It's two totally different time periods. So they're putting characters, they're moving characters' birth
That would be a
dates.
sequel,
There are
correct?
two different time periods, but
I'm
the
just trying to ask
first
you to,
movie
you tell
happens
me how
in
it's
that
not-
timeline, so it's not a
Okay.
reboot.
Real quick, a sequel means that it's a continuance of storyline. Okay? This is not a continuance of the storyline from the movies. This is a new storyline that has nothing to do with a movie other than it is the same characters.
Okay, so what you're saying is that everything that happened in the movie doesn't happen in this universe.
Has nothing to do with this universe.
So,
Yes.
like, none of that stuff has happened. Even though they mentioned Rorschach, there's a whole cult of people that were inspired by Rorschach and Walter Kovacs because
that is a critical storyline point to the graphic novels.
Then that would be if that is mentioned, and they're doing this because he lit all that information. His journal was published. That would make it a sequel.
I give up.
Well, I'm just trying to get you to understand.
All right, he gives up. We win, so let's move on.
There's a huge difference between a sequel and a reboot, and this is a reboot of the story.
He's coming back.
But a reboot is telling you. A reboot is just telling the same story that we've already seen. That's what a reboot is. All right, seriously, anybody that's listening to it, Someone comment
a reboot
on
also
just
also
post on our
requires
wall.
that it does not follow the same continuity. This is
just
not the
post
same
on the
continuity.
wall what a reboot. What's the difference between a reboot and a sequel?
And we
And
also
if
have
this,
It Chapter 2.
you just giving them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is Fantastic Beasts a reboot of Harry Potter?
No,
It's a prequel, isn't it?
Fantastic Beasts is a prequel.
So why is this Watchmen show not?
Well, why is it any different? It
Okay,
doesn't have
because
any of the
Fantastic-
characters except for
Okay,
Dumbledore.
let me speak. Fantastic Beast is a continuation of the continuity of the Harry Potter movies, which it is a prequel, which would have the same effect if it were a sequel, if it had the same continuity of storyline. The Watchmen series is a reboot of the story. It is not the exact same story as the Watchmen movie. It is a new telling of the same story, meaning that characters will take different paths, different journeys. They're going to retell origins of people. Like the comedian. The comedian will not have the same origin story that he had.
Well, the comedian's not in it because he's dead.
He will eventually appear.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like they're gonna do the future and past thing. Like
Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to make a poll on the Good Stuff podcast page, and we'll say, do you think the new Watchmen series is a reboot or a sequel? And then we'll just see how many likes it gets. Well, votes it gets. Sound good? Okay.
Do it. It Chapter 2.
I didn't watch this trailer. Zach.
I did.
I watched
Looks
it.
like Skarsgård is doing it real well.
I just heard it was a little bit different than like the original sequel book.
Did you see It 1?
No, I don't watch horror movies.
So It 1 was a reboot. Because
It 1 was a
it is not the
reboot.
same storyline. It is
Oh
a
my
new
God.
origin story for the character of Pennywise the Clown.
Okay.
Can you just shut up, Ryan? That's why nobody likes you.
I know.
Oh my god, Zach, I'm gonna let you talk about Ed, Chapter 2. Okay. You're the horror guy.
I don't even know.
We
anymore.
had a chance not to let Ryan be on today's episode because he said he felt sick. I'll just throw that out there, Zach, and you were like, Ryan, whatever it takes.
Is he still here?
I'm here.
He's here.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Man, you sound so much better though.
Yeah, he was faking it.
I'm finally sitting up.
You got him worked out. You got it all worked up over this reboot sequel thing. Talk about it,
Now
Chapter
it
2.
made me feel better. But
It Chapter 2, you excited about it, Zach?
yeah, I'm definitely excited about it, and the actors are like, I can't even remember any of the actors' freaking names anymore. But
Isn't Bill Hader in it?
yeah, Bill Hader,
James
like
McAvoy's in it?
he's really good. Yeah, and James McAvoy and Bill Hader, like he's like, I don't know if you guys seen Barry, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm starting to really like Bill Hader, and Barry. The show is really, really good on HBO, and so I'm excited to see him in It Chapter 2.
I
But
know Jeremiah was talking about that yesterday. So
yeah, it's
Barry-
like it's kind of like Breaking Bad, but sort of in reverse. Like he's an assassin, but he wants to get out of that life and like be an actor. So
it's right.
it's kind of it's a dramedy, but it's really good.
Cool. Well, let me one question. Is this It Chapter 2? Is it a reboot to the first It, or is it a sequel?
It's a sequel to the one that came out like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I don't know the difference between a reboot and a sequel. So it's just
But it's a reboot to the 1990s version.
okay. Now we know the difference. Just wondered.
You want to know one of the critical things?
Nope, I
Yeah.
don't want to know anything you have to say. Moving on to the next one.
The original early
So-
90s one.
Netflix is
Different person playing Pennywise.
Oh my god, it's not the same person playing. It's not Tim Curry.
No.
That's crazy. You know, it's kind of like how all the Joel Schumacher movies, how two of them have Michael Keaton playing characters and Val Kilmer plays in one and George Clooney plays it, but all four of those are in the same continuity.
Hey, at least they got him for 2.
Who, Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
He's so good. I like him better as a villain, though.
Val Kilmer was the best.
Are you in the bathroom talking on the phone, talking to us now?
No.
That sounds like a lie, no. So Netflix's I Am Mother trailer, I just watched that just before the broadcast here. Podcast? Why do I keep saying broadcast? We're on TV yet. But I thought it was really interesting trailer. Basically, it's about this. The mother is a robot, and she basically raises this child from. And it was basically incubator baby, I guess. And she like raises it, and it gets really crazy. I was like, oh, this is kind of neat and cool and interesting. And then that other person showed up and basically it pretty much went to hell on the trailer. And so I really feel like talking too much about it is really just giving away too much. And like I really feel like the trailer gave away too much of the movie. So I'd have to wait and watch it to see, because the trailer gave away a lot of information just in that small amount of time. It was almost a 3-minute trailer. But it looks really cool and interesting. So it looked really good for a Netflix movie too. So did anyone else happen to see that?
I have. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be like the next Bird Box. People are going to talk about it a lot for a very short period of time.
Did you say Bird
We
Box?
shall never mention Bird Box again on the show.
Is that the Sandra Bullock movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that movie.
What's with all these weird Bird Box? There's like Bird Box, there's The Silence, and then there's fucking A Quiet Place. I don't know.
You just gotta be quiet now in movies and stuff. At least on Bird Box, you can watch it at home.
Some of John Cena's best roles.
Well, when he doesn't talk, or you can't see him.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy in Bird Box.
But
Because you can't see him. Maleficent 2 trailer came out as well. I watched it and I have no idea what's going on because I didn't see the first one.
Yeah, I think I watched like a little bit of the first one on like. What the hell are you doing, Ryan?
That wasn't me.
Oh, they're working on my roof.
Oh.
So if you hear drilling noises and stuff, that's over here. Sorry.
I hear them hammering down tacks right now.
No, they're like rebuilding the roof. Like they're not hammering it. They're like plywood and.
Did you say they were hammering down tacks?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Shingle
tacks. They're not putting shingles up. They're putting up like 2x4s and like basically rebuilding the roof.
Well, tell them to shut up.
Hey, I'm trying to record a motherfucking podcast in here. I'm trying to record a Mickey damn podcast in here. By the way, we're replacing God with Mickey now, Ryan. I don't know if you got that memo or not.
No one told me.
Oh, well, anyway, if you listen, instead of saying God in sentences and words and stuff, you're now going to say Mickey. So, like, instead of
after their recent acquisition of Hulu,
which we're talking about later, that's why me and Zach have decided that we're going ahead and pledging our allegiance now before we're required.
Y'all just gave up the fight.
That's right. I figure that we'll get special treatment once everybody is required because we pledged early.
They'll take you in as pets.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the alternative. And I don't really have much to say about Maleficent 2. I never saw the first one. I'm pretty sure neither of you two saw the first one fully, so I don't really have much to say. But if Maleficent was
I didn't see it.
You did?
Didn't.
Oh, didn't? Yeah.
I didn't see the
So,
trailer for 2 either.
but if you're listening to it, you saw Maleficent, or you got kids or some stuff like that. I think it's like a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, but through Maleficent's eyes, basically,
Yes.
to where she's more sympathetic. And so if that interests you and haven't seen the trailer, Maleficent 2 trailer, go YouTube that right now. So, or wait till after the show. But the last trailer we got for this week is Batman Hush. This is my most excited trailer. It just so happened to be the last one that we mentioned, but it usually works out really well. I mean, I just go in what order they came out on. But I'm super excited about it because Batman Hush is like one of the best Batman storylines of all time in my eyes that I've read in comic books, which you can read on the DC Universe app. If you read they have all their digital library, and it's Batman Comics issue number 608 to 619. I don't know how I remembered that, mainly because I think I just told my cousin to go read it. But yeah, that's the 12 issues that Hush comes in, and Hush is such an amazing villain, and that whole storyline was great. And I'm super excited that it's getting an animated movie. Did anyone else see the trailer?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
It looks like it's going to be really interesting because it looks like this guy's able to turn all of Batman's closest people against him.
He pretty much just gets all the villains working for him in some way and different throughout the 12 issues. So throughout this movie, you will see pretty much every big villain that I think besides Bane is like the only big villain that you don't see.
Oh wow!
So I mean, you got Joker, Riddler, Poison Ivy, the Catwoman's in there, Superman's in the movie. And of course, Nightwing's in the movie. I'm sure you were super excited about that.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah. So, this is also the appearance of Jason Todd. This is his first appearance. Technically, it's not really. You have to watch the movie. But this is before you see the Red Hood. This came before the Red Hood storyline. So, yeah. So he saying that he was alive and stuff like that. And so, but there's more to it. But you have to. I'll wait till you watch the movie. I didn't see that part in the trailer at all, but I really feel like that's something that has to be shown. So hopefully that is in the movie. But I guess we'll wait and see because it's kind of essential to who Hush is at the end. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I'm super excited about it. As I said, it's probably, if you ask someone to name their top 5 Batman storylines, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you Batman Hush.
I didn't look, but it sounded like James Spader was doing the voice of Hush.
I think so. I'm not for sure, to be honest with you. I'll have to look that up for sure to know.
Yeah, but it definitely sounded like him. It sounded like Ultron.
Yeah, it did sound like Ultron.
Oh.
Zach, did you happen to watch the trailer?
I did not.
No, it's all right. It wasn't a Marvel thing, so it's okay. It's all good.
I'm the biggest Batman fan, so.
All right. So we're gonna move on. Real quick, we are going to have another segment each week. It is from our announcer, Brad Julian, and it's called Brad's Hit or Miss. And basically, he's going to take a adventure through the DC Universe app and tell you what he saw during the week and what would be hit or miss. So I'm going to take a quick little stop, and I'm going to throw this in here with Brad.
Greetings, good stuffers. This is Bradley Julian with Hit or Miss this week on DC Universe. Okay, hit. Gotham by Gaslight. This was a creative take on the Jack the Ripper story, where Jack the Ripper has moved from London to Gotham, and the Batman is searching him out and trying to prevent his crime spree, along with the help of Selina Kyle. So definitely, if you have DC Universe, check out Gotham by Gaslight. Myths on DC Universe. Batman Ninja. This was terrible. Don't bother. Don't watch it. It was, I think, one of the worst anime adaptations I have ever seen. I can't believe I sat through it. Let's put it that way. And hit or miss on DC Universe, the DC Nation shorts. They're hit and miss because there are some good 60-second shorts that are clever and made me laugh. And there are some groaners thrown in there too. So take your pick. Watch them all. I did. But because they're only 60 seconds apiece. These used to air on Saturday mornings, I think, during some of the DC shows back in the day when we had the Green Lantern Corps and Legion of Superheroes and some other great shows. So, yeah, check out the DC Nation shorts. Not all of them are good. That's what we call it, hit or miss. So, that's all for this week on Hit or Miss with DC Universe this week. We'll see you next time.
Let's move on to news. A little quick bit from local news, from the local scene. Tanner Smith, Because of Kelly, which had Tanner on, I think it was episode 7. And I've talked about Because of Kelly a couple times. A documentary that he made about how he's proposing to his girlfriend. He made the documentary as he was proposing and stuff like that for like, I don't know, 6 months, a year or something like that. And so it's pretty great. It's now released on Amazon, so you can see it. I got to see it before he was on the show, so he sent me a private link to it. So I've already seen it, and I don't know, you guys probably don't know this, but if you go to the Because of Kelly Facebook page, which I included the link yesterday on our Facebook page, but if you go to their Facebook page for Because of Kelly, and like you see like the cover photo is like, I guess like would be the DVD cover or whatever like that, it has a quote from me on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It said, an amazing documentary. I loved it. CK Hemp's Good Stuff Podcast. I was like, yeah, look at that. I felt so cool. I
watched the trailer for it. It seemed interesting. So
yeah, it's really interesting because like I don't watch a lot of documentaries, and I said that to Tanner as well. But it's just because y'all know how I proposed to Lacey, so I like interesting proposals. It's just that he made this documentary this whole time and was like talking about it. And there was times that she was around and he was in a different room talking about, like, whenever they did a 48-hour film project, he was in a different room talking about it. And because they were shooting this behind the scenes footage for this thing, but at the same time, it was really footage they were using for the documentary. So he was filming her a bunch. She didn't know, because he films everything, so she didn't think nothing of it, but he was filming it stuff for the movie. And then there's like 4 parts in the movie where they do reenactments of like times when they first met and different things that happen in their relationship, and it's played by 2 of his friends. So I thought that was a really cool bit too. So it's a really exciting story. And then of course near the ending, it's, he proposes to his girlfriend. So, or now his fiance Kelly, and I just thought it was a really cool concept at first, anyways, before I saw it, and then I watched it, and it was really well done. So I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10.
On my to watch list.
Yeah, we'll probably, you guys should watch it sometime, and then we can talk about it on the show. I gave it an 8 out of 10 when I watched it. So, and mainly, I'm not going to give anything a 10 unless it's perfect. And the reason I gave it a 9 was just like technical issues, because it's independent film, so there were some audio issues that I had. But we all know we know about audio issues, the 3 of us, don't we?
Yeah.
Real familiar with the audio.
Mostly me, friggin' saving projects and whatever.
Like when they're building a roof, whenever you're trying to record.
I was mainly talking about Gotham Knight stuff, but yeah. So. Another local thing that dropped is the album from our good friend Justin Michael Cupid. He is he's been an extra on the Gotham Knights stuff that we did. He was a Black Mask thug, and he dropped his album Country Dreamin', and it's on iTunes and Spotify. So we posted those links on
country music. He's definitely your guy. He's got a really good country voice.
Yeah, and so I mean, and he's like, I think he's just like about to graduated high school or graduating high school. So I mean, he's like 17, 18, something like that. So I mean,
I think graduate next year.
yeah, something like that. Well, because I just saw him in some robes, so I think he actually did graduate.
Oh, he might have done. Oh, yeah, yep, he might have.
So check that out, because also it's like it's that new country sound too. So you get a lot of like pop sounding and like pop rap stuff in it too.
It's
rock.
like Taylor Swift, but not every song is about an ex.
Yeah. But check it out. He's got a variety of different songs. So I think there's like 13 songs or something, 14 songs, something like that. And check it out. I got sent the link to that early too, so it was pretty good. I haven't listened to it fully to give you my thoughts on it, but it was good. It was good what I heard. So yeah. But yeah, that's all really that I have to say about that. But if we move on to the next thing, Raising Kratos was released on the Sony YouTube page and on your PS4. The documentary of the behind-the-scenes making of the new God of War game that came out. What was it, last year, Zach? Was it last year that came out?
I believe so.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I haven't seen all of it. I've seen a bit of it, but what I've seen is interesting. It's really good, and I for some reason I guess I'm liking documentaries now. I don't know. Mainly because God of War.
I'm about halfway through the storyline on God of War.
It's just an amazing game.
It really is.
And just the story is so good, and just to see what they went through to make the game, and they really deserve all the work they put in it. They deserve for you to watch this documentary. So I mean, it's not like they're making money off of it, because it's just on their YouTube page or on the PS4 where you can watch it for free. So I mean, it's not like they're making money off of this, but I mean, if you've played the God of War game, they really deserve you to take the time out of your day to watch this 2-hour documentary or whatever, hour and a half, 2-hour documentary on how they made the game. So, thank God, that story is so good. It's so good. I mean, I think me and Zach talked about that because I think we started playing about the same time, or you started a little before me, and then I got ahead of you or something like that, and I finished like right before you or something like that. Zach, was that about right?
I think about after you.
Okay.
Is it a sequel, prequel, or reboot to Watchmen?
It is a reboot sequel.
And another thing.
They said it was a reboot. They said it was a reboot. Remember that?
Another thing, God of War will get a movie before Gears of War.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
That's probably accurate.
Okay with that. I'm okay with that because God of War is amazing. But they said it was a reboot, but then when you start playing the game, it's a fucking sequel.
Yeah, they start talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
Like at first you're like, oh, it could be, but then like one thing happens, and I'm like, and because me and Zach were talking about it when I was playing it, we were playing it, and I was like, didn't they say this game was a reboot? And he's like, yeah, it's supposed to be a reboot. And he's like, I said, no, this one part happens, and you'll know what part I'm talking about. And when that part happens, you're like, nope, this is a fucking sequel. You know which part I'm talking about, Zach, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. When that one part happens, you're like, this is a sequel. So it's like a reboot sequel. Maybe that's what Watchmen is. Maybe it's both. Maybe we're both right.
Predator Hunting Ground and a lot was announced at Sony's second State of Play.
So I like how Sony's doing the State of Play thing now, because they're not going to be at E3 this year. Yeah. So, and they didn't do their big conference that they had last year. I don't know what it's really called. Zach, if you know the showcase thing that they normally have. It's near the end of the year. They didn't do it. They skipped out on it last year.
The Sony showcase?
I don't know. Let's just go with that. The Sony showcase. because the 4 big games that they're supposed to be putting out, they weren't ready to we haven't already seen. So they've decided to skip out on that. They've decided to skip out on E3 this year, but they've been doing these state of play that are kind of like those Nintendo Directs that Nintendo's been doing for years now. And the first one was kind of good. It was all right. It showed a lot of VR games, and I don't have VR, so I don't really care. But the second one was a lot better in that Predator Hunting Grounds. I mentioned that one because that was my favorite announcement, I think, from there. I don't really remember what else got announced besides they got a new PlayStation coming out, but a special themed one. I don't really remember what else got. Zach, you remember anything else that got announced?
No, not really.
I just know that Predator Hunting Grounds looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. It reminds me. It's kind of like, I don't know if you saw it or not, Ryan. So I don't know if you know that or not. But like the Friday the 13th, and then maybe like Evolve. We played Evolve for a bit, Ryan.
Yeah.
You know how like some of you are the hunters and the one person is the beast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, except that one of you gets picked and you're the predator, and everyone else is just normal people.
I mean,
That's pretty cool.
I just want to play just so hopefully I could be the predator.
I was addicted to Friday the 13th for a while until they stopped supporting the game. But
Right. And we know that the Mad Hatter, Taylor Bishop, he really loves that Friday the 13th game. I think he still plays that.
yeah, another good game that's similar to that is Dead by Daylight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I also own that, but
I'm excited about it. So, I mean, mainly because I want to just play as a predator. So, I mean, that's super exciting to me.
And
But
it'd be fun to fight Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It would be cool.
They need to bring another Alien versus Predator first-person shooter like they had years ago.
Yeah.
For the PS3. I think it was Alien vs. Predator, but like it was awesome. Cause like it was so underrated, and like for some reason not that many people played it, but it had 3 campaigns. You could play. There was a campaign for Predator, for Alien, and as the Marines, and then you could play online, and it was like a 3-way brawl. Like some people were selected to play the Aliens, some people were selected to play the Predators, and then you could play as the Marines, and they all had like this.
I never played that game, but the concept of it sounds really good.
It was pretty fun, like especially as the aliens, like you could just like scale the walls and shit, and like crawl upside down and just attack people. I don't know, it was pretty fun alien for a while, yeah.
And not the little green men alien from the Ridley Scott movies.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun, and I think it was pretty underrated, but it'd be pretty badass if they brought that back, something like a new game.
True. But moving on in the video game news, but speaking of still staying in the PS4 news, is that EA Access, this might have got announced at the State of Play, EA Access is coming to PS4 finally in July. So, exciting stuff. I mean, it's been on Xbox for several years now. It's just so hard to get. Sony is so, like, strange about.
I'm really surprised that they're letting it come to the PlayStation, to be honest.
Oh yeah, because I mean Sony's really stingy.
Anybody else?
They have a PlayStation Now, so they have their own game streaming service type thing, and so allowing EA access, I mean, it's a pretty big deal for this to happen. So I was very surprised by it. Not that I'm going to get EA access, but it's just it was a shock really to me. That, like, even you said, I know you said that, Zach, it was like that you were surprised that they were allowing that to happen. For one, Sony's just stingy about what they allow on their PlayStation. They don't have a whole lot of apps compared to Xbox, which has an app for if you want to play a sneezing game or something. They have apps for everything. You can order Pizza Hut on your Xbox. But Sony is like really stingy. So, and it was a big deal in my eyes. I don't know. What did you think, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, it basically just what I said is that I didn't think they would let any other streaming type service except for video streaming. I didn't think they would put any game streaming service on there.
Yeah. Crazy stuff, man. Ryan, you ever played anything on EA Access?
I'm not up to date on console stuff right now.
Well, EA Access, basically, I think you can, they have like a certain amount of games made by EA that you can play that are kind of like older games, and then like you get to play like trials of new games when they come out and stuff like that, and then if you want to buy games, you can get discounts on them. That's pretty much it, right, Zach?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I can play NBA 2K2.
Yeah, man, you can play the 2K2. I don't know. No, you can't play NBA 2K because that's not EA. You have to play NBA Live.
Yeah. NBA 2K is by 2K.
Yeah, NBA Live, which I'm pretty certain that when that game came out, like 6 months later, it was for free. Not even 6 months. I think it was like 2 months after it came out. The latest one. I think they started.
You can probably play Madden.
Yeah, you can play Madden.
Oh, Madden.
You can play the Madden. But yeah. Moving on. More last of the video game news here. God, we had a lot of video game news here. Ghost Recon Breakdown got announced. We got to see the trailer for it, gameplay, and that game is releasing on October 4th. And I believe that is, what's that game? What the sequel? Is it a sequel to what now? What, Wildlands? Is that what it's called, Zach?
Yeah, I guess Wildlands.
Yeah. So I haven't played the Ghost Recon game in a long time, but I watched a little bit of the gameplay for this one, and like the one spot that really sold me on it was, has anyone else seen any of the gameplay?
Yeah.
So like in the one thing, the dude's out in the woods and stuff, and there's like people all around him, and he just like falls to the ground and like gets himself in the dirt and grass and stuff. And so, like, then you can barely even see him. And then the guy just walks beside him and then he just stands up and stabs him. And I was like, oh my God.
It's going to be a new, interesting concept of first-person shooters.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, this doesn't even look like a Ghost Recon game to me. Like, it's like Splinter Cell in the woods. So,
is the new Ghost Recon first person?
It's third person, though.
Third person.
I was like, wait, because I don't think
I'm sorry.
Ghost Recon's ever been first
Been
person.
stupid before.
It's third person. He was thrown off by the drilling on my roof.
But yeah, Wildlands. I played the open beta. It was pretty fun for what it was. It kind of reminded me of Far Cry, just like a third person Far Cry.
Cool. And
this
being a sequel, I guess, would fall in the same vein as that, then, right?
Yeah.
I have to look into it.
Not a reboot.
It's not a reboot.
Not a reboot.
It's a sequel.
Is that what this episode's going to be called?
Reboot or sequel? That's the title for episode 21.
Or Good Stuff Podcast Rebooted.
I think I've done that one before. All right, so we're gonna move on, and now, just a heads up, Ryan had to leave because his sickness is reaching him. He's got some high fever, and so he didn't want to get any of you listening sick with his high fever.
Yeah, he left us last week too. So I mean,
no, he didn't leave us last week. He passed out on us last week. That was the difference.
He passed out. No, he did leave us because he had to drive his friend to work.
Whoa,
too.
He passed out and then he left us after he woke up and said some stuff.
So he did leave us last week, but he also fell asleep on us last week. So maybe we should consider getting a new host. I don't know.
I mean, he's not going to listen to this anyway. So let's move on. We're moving on to CBCK, and we're going to talk about comic books. And I give you recommendations for last week and for this week. And so last week, I recommended this as my top choice, and it still remained my top choice. It was The Batman Who Laughs, number 5, written by Scott Snyder. The artist was Jock, not Young Jock. It's not going down. Just Jock. Colors by David Barron, and letters by Sal Cipriano. Sometimes it's hard to read words, Zach. But yeah, I've talked about Batman Who Laughs before. I just really love the character, and I still stand by the fact that I think that you would like the character. I mean, I know that DC's not your deal, but it's just an evil character, and mix between Batman and Joker, and it's just it's so good. He's so good, and I don't really want to talk too much about the book, but this is the 5th issue. There's one more left, and this character, which spun out of Dark Knight's Metal, he's a great character. And that what happens in the last page of Batman Who Laughs, I literally just stood there after I read it and just looked at the page and was like, oh my god. Oh wow! Because it's crazy, and so I don't know what else to say about the book. It was good. So go get Batman Who Laughs, or wait for when it comes out in trade and pick it up. I guess if you can't find the rest of them. But runner up, guys, was Flash number 70. It was the first of the Flash year 1. So basically, we're getting a retelling of the Flash's origins, and because apparently this person sent him back in time to basically he forgot something and he needs to remember what it is, so that way he can save the future. And I don't know, it's interesting, but it was really cool seeing this, seeing the origins of Flash, of Barry Allen. Told in a little bit different way. It's really hilarious because he ran through a bunch of shoes, and so I thought this was interesting. So he's keeps he's running, right? He gets struck by lightning, and that's how he becomes the Flash, right? So anyway, when he starts running and stuff, he runs through shoes, basically burning up his shoes. So after he goes through so many pairs, he ends up getting these fireproof jackets from a fire department and making boots out of them, and that's what he uses for boots. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I thought it was really cool.
Did he take Jeremiah's boots?
He took Jeremiah's boots, and because Jeremiah's what was that? You getting shot at over there?
What? I don't know. I heard it there was a pause or something.
It sounded like guns going off. I was like, are you getting shot? Are you all right? I had another runner-up. It was Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6. The reason why I picked this is because, God, it got me in the feels. So this book introduced the character Spider-Bite, like a sidekick to Spider-Man. And throughout this book, you're seeing Spider-Bite, and it just gets more absurd. They're fighting villains together and stuff like that. And so, then they fight, the Sinister Six, but then Norman Osborn's like, oh, this is not the Sinister Six. And he, pulls back a curtain and he goes, it's the Sinister 60. So you see, 60 freaking villains, right? And so I was like, what the heck? And so Spider-Man and Spider-Bite, and I was wondering who Spider-Bite was this entire time. When I had seen the cover a month or so ago, and I was wondering why Spider-Man was getting a sidekick. And so he fights all these villains, and then the story kind of changes, because then you see that this is not actually real. What's happening? It's a bunch of people dressed up that are nurses and stuff that are dressed up as these villains, and the Spider-Bite kid is a kid that has cancer, and his I guess he did make a wish, and was to spend the day with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man came to there, and he wanted to save the city with Spider-Man. So they built a city and stuff out of cardboard, the nurse and stuff, and his dad and stuff were different villains. His dad was like a new villain, but it was like the worst villain that Spider-Man had ever faced and stuff. It was just, and I was like, oh God, I wasn't prepared for it emotionally. Because like, I really wasn't. Like, I mean, like, no, legit, like, that's not something I was expecting. And so it was just,
cry?
I almost did, but I didn't because I have no heart and soul. So, but it was a really sad moment. It was a really sad moment. I didn't cry when Tony Stark died, okay? So, sad moment. I tell you that, though. I almost cried.
You cried during my dog skip, so.
That was a long time ago. Anyways, but the last page, so the kid's mad because the day is ending and stuff like that. And Spider-Man's like, no, let me take it from here. So he goes swings out through the city with the kid. In the last panel, you see him swinging through the city with the kid on his shoulder, holding the kid in his hospital gown and stuff, with bald head and all, just swinging through the city and said, "The day's not over yet," or whatever like this. And it was just a standalone issue. And that last panel, man, I was not expecting that, and so. It was good. It was good, man. Sorry, I'm getting choked up a little bit. Next week, though, or this week, new comic books coming out on Wednesday. And this week, I think you should pick up Spider-Man Life Story number 3, the 80s from Chip Zdarsky. I have talked to you about this before. This is the comic book where as the years go by, Spider-Man's getting older too. So,
right.
60s, I've talked about that before. This one's we're in the 80s now, so he's going to end up getting the black suit and stuff like that because that's on the cover. I don't know what's all going to happen in it, but I'm just really excited to see what happens because it's been a heck of a comic book. So I'm pretty excited about it. Plus, I mean, the black suit's one of my favorite parts, so just excited. And each book has changed things up a little bit in some ways, so I'm excited to see what happens. And I really think that you guys would really, you and Ryan would enjoy this book. So just anybody, I'm really excited about it. A lot of good books coming out, but that's one I'm most excited about. Let's move on through the news real quick. So Batwoman series got a season order from the CW. They released a teaser trailer for that. So you probably didn't watch that. I would assume.
I didn't watch it. But...
Yeah. Batwoman was introduced in the Elseworlds crossover from the Arrowverse last year, and so now she's getting a series. Being played by Ruby Rose. I love the Batwoman character, so I'm pretty excited to see the show get picked up. So. Which Arrow ends next year, so I guess you need somebody to brood now, since Arrow's not going to be there anymore. We need a brooding person, so. And plus representation, man, because, she's a lesbian, so.
Sure.
Kate Kane's a lesbian, so I'm excited about it, so. But yeah, so that series got picked up for a season from the CW. So in the fall, we'll get that. Another thing is from Comic Wise is there's a new X-Men comic universe going to be coming out of the. We already knew that Jonathan Hickman in July was bringing us House of X and Powers of X, but now you even sent me this too, which I just seen it earlier. But we're getting a whole new X-Men comic universe after this crossover, after these new books. So interesting to see what's going to happen in the X-Men universe. I'm not on any X-Men titles right now, but Jonathan Hickman's a good writer, so I may get on those. House of X and Powers of X. I know you're a big X-Men guy, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of my favorite, I think, series.
So I mean, it should be exciting for you to get a new X-Men comic universe. So
yeah, I just need to get back in the comics.
Dude, it's a good time. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good jumping on point now. So, especially, you could, even in July, whenever the House of X and Powers of X, you could just jump on then, read that, and then you'll be able to read the new universe and everything's starting over. And so it's a new universe. So you'd be perfectly fine to start there,
Yeah.
But yeah, so exciting stuff there. Other new things come out. A new Star Wars trilogy is coming from the Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Weiss, I think.
Weiss, yeah. So they got new Star Wars trilogy coming out in the year 2022, 2024, and 2026, and rumors are saying that's a Knights of the Old Republic, set in the Knights of the Old Republic universe. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, there's that'd be pretty badass because there's just so much story in that timeline.
Yeah.
Because, that timeline spans, so long. So.
Yeah. So they can tell a Knights of the Old Republic story without telling, the game storyline. So, I'm excited, though. I'm not, a Game of Thrones person. Only seen 6 episodes now. It's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah,
but
you keep saying that.
it's just I haven't seen the hype yet. But I mean, as I've said before, it usually takes me a season to like stuff anyway. So maybe I'll end up liking it. So I was told that once you watch Game of Thrones, you're never gonna want to stop watching it, and that's not what's happened for me. So I'm kind of confused. So that's the only reason I even mentioned it. But Knights of the Old Republic is my favorite time in the Star Wars universe. So to see a movie trilogy set in that universe would be pretty awesome. Because you can get the full Jedi Order, the full Sith to see the Sith at their fullest power. That's really exciting times. And like you said, it's a big long period, so there's plenty to pull from, and they can use original storyline there. And I'm excited to see what the possibility could come from that. So, but moving right along, more news. We're trying to get through because I got stuff to do. But Disney, we mentioned this. Disney got full control of Hulu now. So me and Zach, we've already pledged our allegiance to the Lord Mickey Mouse. So guys should probably do that because eventually you're going to be required to. Because Mickey, the House of Mouse, will own everything. So.
And so when you say holy fuck or something, you say Mickey fuck or I don't know.
Yeah,
that sounds wrong though.
Basically, if you say God in something, you say, instead of saying God bless you when someone sneezes, say Mickey bless you. You can join us.
What's the word for holy then? Because it shouldn't be Mickey fuck because that sounds like pornographic.
I don't know. I guess it would still be holy, but I don't know. But Disney has full control of Hulu now. They're given to it by Universal. I think that Universal, they have until
Comcast owns Universal.
Up until 2024, your NBC Universal shows will still be on there, guaranteed. And then once 2024 happens, Disney they don't own all of it. NBC Universal still owns a 30, and Comcast own a 30% share, but their shares 33. But I think that they said in 2024 Disney can buy those shares, or they would have to sell them at a market price or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was something I thought they would have to buy 33% of NBC Universal, so they would have to. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to really look in the details. All I know that is Disney's going to own everything, and people talk a lot about crap that Disney owns stuff, and I know we're making jokes about it, but Comcast really owns a whole lot more than that. So.
Yeah, but Disney owns all the things that really
people are
makes
really
the money.
Yeah, that people are really into. So, I mean, but someone wrote down their revenue and Comcast's was actually like 20 billion or something more than Disney's. So a year.
You need to be wrapping up.
Let's see here. But yeah, let's just skip past these next couple of things here, Zach, on the notes. And what you do this week? Last thing we're gonna do here. This other couple of things we'll talk more about it next week.
I saw Detective Pikachu.
And what did you think about Detective Pikachu?
I thought it was awesome. Like, I don't know, like I didn't really know what to expect going in, but like I don't know, just I think it's like a lot what I would want from a live action Pokemon movie, to be honest. Like I hope they continue like they probably won't continue the Detective Pikachu story, but it'd be cool to like continue, like maybe do some league battle stuff where, you know, kind of like a version of Ash, or not Ash, but just like somebody who's looking to get the badges and stuff like that would be pretty interesting. But yeah, like I don't know, I just thought it was a really cool movie anyway.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but seeing more live action Pokemon movies would be pretty cool. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. So I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things. So, but yeah, as far as what I did this week, I played What Remains of Edith Finch, which you can get if you have PS Plus. You can get that for free. And it was a great game. It was an amazing game. Jeremiah told me that was a good game, but I got 100% of the trophies. It was just an amazing storyline, and it's an adventure game, and it doesn't take you a long time. And you play as Edith Finch, and you're going through her house, and you basically go through a bunch of. Apparently, her family has a curse where everybody dies in these extreme ways. And so you go through and you basically play through these memories of how all these people died. And so it was really interesting. But as far as story wise, it was an amazing game. Definitely highly recommend that game. 9 out of 10. I mean, it's near perfect game. So I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about it at all. So at all.
Did they give you a platinum for that, or is it
They did
just
not.
100?
They did not.
Oh.
It's just 100. They didn't give you a platinum. I guess because it's so easy to get 100%.
Yeah, but you get a platinum for freaking The Walking Dead, and all you have to do to get that is beat the game.
Oh. Nope, they don't give you platinum. I was really surprised. I thought they did, but they don't give you platinum.
Yeah.
But guys, I hate to cut this episode short, but it's a busy day. Honestly, Ryan had to get off here. He's sick. Jeremiah couldn't be on this episode. Just me and Zach. And we had a couple other things, some news, and then reviewing something of a friend of ours, wrestling stuff, and we'll talk about it next week. But I just want to thank everybody for listening to the show. Zach, is there anything else that didn't mention that we need to mention? I mean, I said those couple things that we'll talk about next week that we're going to get to. But is there anything else that needs to be mentioned?
Not that I can think of. Just find us on social media. Good Stuff For Real on Twitter, or BBP For Real on Twitter with the number 4.
Good Stuff Podcast on Instagram, and The Good Stuff Podcast on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Good Stuff Podcast. But thanks everybody for listening. Go find us on all our platforms. Listen to us. Leave us a review. Please leave us a review on Facebook or iTunes. That way we know what we're doing, what you like, what do you want to see better, listen to better, and stuff like that. So we'll know that. But be here next week for episode 22 when Jeremiah makes his first official episode as a co-host. But all right, guys, have a great day, and hashtag good stuff.